Noah and the Ark of Noah, Genesis chapter 6 through chapter 9, verse 17. When humankind began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born to them, the sons of God saw that the daughters of humankind were beautiful. Thus they took wives for themselves, and for any they chose. So the Lord said, My spirit will not remain in humankind indefinitely, since they are mortal. They will remain for 120 more years. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also after this, when the sons of God would sleep with the daughters of humankind, who gave birth to their children. They were mighty heroes of old, the famous men. But the Lord saw the wickedness of humankind had become great on the earth. Every inclination of the thoughts of their minds was only evil all of the time. The Lord regretted that he had made humankind on the earth, and he was highly offended. So the Lord said, I will wipe humankind whom I have created from the face of the earth, everything from humankind to animals, including creatures that move on the ground and birds of the air, for I regret that I have made them. But Noah found favor in the sight of the Lord. This is the account of Noah. Noah was a godly man. He was blameless among his contemporaries. He walked with God. Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth was ruined in the sight of God. The earth was filled with violence. God saw the earth, and indeed it was ruined, for all living creatures on the earth were sinful. So God said to Noah, I have decided that all living creatures must die, for the earth is filled with violence because of them. Now I am about to destroy them and the earth. Make for yourselves an ark of cypress wood. Make rooms in the ark to cover and with pitch inside and out. This is how you should make it. The ark is to be 450 feet long, 75 feet wide, and 45 feet high. Make a roof for the ark and finish it, leaving 18 inches from the top. Put a door in the side of the ark and make lower and middle and upper decks. I am about to bring floodwaters on the earth to destroy from under the sky all living creatures that have breathed the breath of life in them. Everything that is on the earth will die, but I will confirm my covenant with you. You will enter the ark, you, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. You must bring into the ark 2 of every kind of creature from all flesh, male and female, to keep them alive with you. Of the birds, after their kinds. Of the cattle, after their kinds. After every creeping thing of the ground, after its kind. 2 of every kind will come, so you can keep them alive. And you must take for yourself every kind of food that is eaten, and gather it together. It will be food for you and for them. Noah did all that God commanded him. He did indeed. The Lord said to Noah, Come into the ark, you and all of your household, for I consider you godly among this generation. You must take with you 7 pairs of every clean animal, and male and its mate, 2 of every kind of unclean animal, the male and its mate, and also 7 pairs of every kind of bird in the sky, male and female, to preserve their offspring on the face of the entire earth. For in 7 days I will cause it to rain on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights, and I will wipe from the face of the ground every living thing that I have made. And Noah did all the Lord commanded him. Noah was 600 years old when the floodwaters engulfed the earth. Noah entered the ark along with his sons, his wife, and his sons' wives because of the floodwaters. Pairs of clean animals, of unclean animals, of birds, and of everything that creeps along the ground, male and female, came into the ark to Noah just as God had commanded him. And after 7 days the floodwaters engulfed the earth. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the 2nd month, on the 17th day of the month, on that day all of the fountains of the great deep burst open, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened, and the rain fell on the earth for 40 days and 40 nights. On that very day, Noah entered the ark, accompanied by his sons Shem, Ham, and Japheth, along with his wife and his 3 sons' wives. They entered along with every living creature after its kind, every animal after its kind, every creeping thing that creeps on the earth after its kind, and every bird after its kind, everything with wings. Pairs of all creatures that have the breath of life came into the ark of Noah. Those that entered were male and female, just as God commanded him. Then the Lord shut him in. The flood engulfed the earth for 40 days. As the waters increased, they lifted the ark and raised it above the earth. The waters completely overwhelmed the earth, and the ark floated on the surface of the waters. The waters completely inundated the earth so that even the high mountains under the entire sky were covered. The waters rose more than 20 feet above the mountains. All of the living things that moved on the earth died, including the birds, domestic animals, wild animals, all the creatures that swam over the earth, all humankind, everything on dry land that had the breath in its nostrils died. So the Lord destroyed every living thing that was on the surface of the ground, including people, animals, creatures that crept along the ground, and birds of the sky. They were wiped off the earth. Only Noah and those who were with him in the ark survived. The waters prevailed over the earth for 150 days. But God remembered Noah and all the wild animals and domestic animals that were with him in the ark. God caused a wind to blow over the earth, and the waters receded. The fountains of the deep and the floodgates of heaven were closed, and the rain stopped falling from the sky. The waters kept receding steadily from the earth, so that they had gone down by the end of the 150 days. On the 17th day of the 7th month, the ark came to rest on one of the mountains of Ararat. The waters kept on receding until the 10th month. On the first day of the 10th month, the tops of the mountains became visible. At the end of 40 days, Noah opened the window he had made in the ark and sent out a raven. It kept flying back and forth until the waters had dried up on the earth. Then Noah sent out a dove to see if the waters had receded from the surface of the ground. The dove could not find a resting place for its feet because the waters still covered the surface of the entire earth. And so it returned to Noah in the ark. He stretched out his hand, took the dove, and brought it back to the ark. He waited 7 more days and sent out the dove again from the ark. When the dove returned to him in the evening, there was a freshly plucked olive leaf in its beak. Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. He waited another 7 days and sent the dove out again, but it did not return to him this time. In Noah's 601st year, in the first day of the first month, the waters had dried up from the earth, and Noah removed the covering from the ark and saw that the surface of the ground was dry, and by the 27th day of the 2nd month of the earth was dry. Then God spoke to Noah and said, "Come out of the ark, you, your wife, your sons, and your sons' wives with you. Bring with you all of the living creatures that were with you. Bring out every living thing, including the birds, the animals, and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. Let them increase and be fruitful and multiply on the earth." Noah went out along with his sons, his wife, his sons' wives, every living creature, every creeping thing, every bird, and everything that moves on the earth went out of the ark in their groups. Noah built an altar to the Lord. He then took some of every kind of clean animal and clean bird and offered a burnt offering on the altar. And the Lord smelled the soothing aroma and said to himself, "I will never again curse the ground because of humankind. Even though the inclination of their minds is evil from childhood on, I will never again destroy everything that lives, just as I have just done." While the earth continues to exist, planting time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, and day and night will not cease. Then God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth. Every living creature of the earth and every bird of the sky will be terrified of you. Everything that creeps on the ground and all the fish of the sea are under your authority. You may eat any moving thing that lives as I give you. The green plants I now give you everything. But you must not eat meat with its life, that is, its blood, in it. For your lifeblood I will surely exact punishment from every living creature. I will exact punishment from each person. I will exact punishment for the life of the individual, since that man was his relative. Whoever sheds human blood by other humans, must his blood be shed, for in God's image God has made all humankind. But as for you, be fruitful and multiply, increase abundantly on the earth and multiply on it. God said to Noah and his sons, Look, I now confirm my covenant with you and your descendants after you, and with every living creature that is with you, including the birds, the domestic animals, and every living creature of the earth with you, all those that came out of the ark with you, every living creature of the earth. I confirm my covenant with you. Never again will all living things be wiped out by the waters of a flood. Never again will I destroy the earth. And God said, This is the guarantee of the covenant I am making with you and every living creature with you, a covenant for all subsequent generations. I will place my rainbow in the clouds, and it will become a guarantee of the covenant between me and the earth. Whenever I bring clouds over the earth, and the rainbow appears in the clouds, then I will remember my covenant with you and with all living creatures of all kinds. Never again will the waters become a flood and destroy all living things. When the rainbow is in the clouds, I will notice it and remember the perpetual covenant between God and all living creatures of all kinds that are now on the earth. So God said to Noah, This is the guarantee of the covenant that I am confirming between me and all living things that are on the earth.